Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. A beautiful Monday morning. This is the Smooth Breakfast. Yours truly is Ayokunmi Kekiriako. Time to take you into the world of business on Business Express. This is brought to you by IntoSwitch. And this morning, like I said earlier, we're going to be talking about gas, specifically cooking gas, because that is, yeah, all over the news the last couple of days. And basically, gas sells for 17,000 naira. 12.5 kg gas sells for 17,000 naira in some parts of Lagos. And that has my head spinning faster than the propellers on a helicopter. Because what? Anyways, joining me this morning to have a conversation about this is Rotus. Rotus, very good morning to you. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm sure. I bought gas yesterday, so I'm reeling myself, but I guess I'm okay. I guess I am.
Okay, okay. Before I go any further, how much did you pay for your cylinder of gas?
17. I was when because I haven't, I guess bachelor lifestyle. I haven't bought gas in a while. The last time I bought it was 15. So I've been looking at, I think, assuming that prices would moderate or so, but they haven't. It was last night that I bought because it
Oh, wow.
finished, in middle of the night, and they quoted 17,000. I asked them, they said, prices are going up. That's the highest I've seen a 12.5 kg cylinder. That's the highest price yet.
Same here, same here. And you know what? We're going to dive into what is going on. Before we do that, just to let you know, you can be a part of Business Express as always by sharing your thoughts with us on WhatsApp on 0809 0809 That's the WhatsApp number. Share your thoughts. And of course, if you bought gas anytime recently and how much you actually paid for a 12.5 kilogram cylinder. Also, join us on YouTube. We're streaming live at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Okay, now, Rotus, I mean, the obvious question is what exactly is happening with these LPG prices? Because they are scary.
They are. Gas prices are going up. I guess pretty much crude, is going up as well. Like crude oil prices they've been pretty volatile, but they are climbing again. I guess we'll get to what's going on between Israel and Hezbollah over the weekend. But it's mostly crude oil prices that have been climbing, and that has filtered into Nigeria's gas prices. There's also the issue of supply. We've been battling supply issues. NLNG that was supposed to be exporting had to divert some of its cargo to the domestic side. So you've got the double whammy of price or crude oil prices, gas prices rising, and then our own supply issues. And then you've got, the CNG stuff. We're also launching CNG. I mean, yeah, basically is another avenue that is going to compete for the gas that we have as well. So it's both it's supply and demand.
I just wonder, I mean, talking about supply, I mean, Nigeria is so gas rich that you'd think that supply shouldn't be something that we'd be talking about. But hey, it's Nigeria and we are where we are right now. But I mean, how exactly have we seen these prices reflected, sorry, seeing this reflected in the average depot prices in the last couple of days, weeks, or thereabouts?
Yeah, if you go to, I think the website is lpginnigeria.com. They track prices. So the average depot price priced in per 20 metric tons that has been climbing as well. So depots, it's being reflected at depots across the country. So I think it was from I think about 21 million or so. That is, again, this is priced in per 20 metric tons, right? That's
Okay,
gone up to
okay.
that's from the end of July till about August the 19th, I think. That's climbed to about 26.6 million or so. If you divide, you get about 1.1 million or so for each metric ton. But average depot prices, that has also reflected what we're seeing on the international side. So that's also been climbing too.
Interesting thoughts there. Now, of course, the big elephant in the room. What exactly is this going to mean for, disposable income of Nigerians? Because, like you said, 17,000, it's the highest I have ever heard. 12.5 kilogram cylinder of gas being sold for. I have never heard it this high before. And of course, it just seems like everything is hitting Nigerians left, right, and center. Feels like they're in the UFC octagon with Duplessis and Adesanya at the same time. It's not easy.
I mean, wasn't it the immigration service that said last week that passport prices are going to go up?
Yep, yep, yep.
Electricity prices going up. I mean, fuel. Yeah, the disposable income of the average Nigerian is going to be squeezed. I mean, I also asked for the price of a 5 kg cylinder. That's up now to about 7 to 8,000. That's what, just not too long ago, a 12.5 kg cylinder. I remember when we're talking about it hitting 10,000 naira and when it was climbing from,
Mm,
8 to, so a 5 kg cylinder now is where 12.5 kg used to be a few years ago. So it's across the board increases, and that is going to bite into the disposable income. It's going to squeeze it, which is going to make choices a little difficult for the average Nigerian.
And talking about choices, is this definitely going to make a lot of people look at alternatives? But I don't know, maybe in terms of coal pots and firewood. I mean, there was a period in Nigeria where there was this sawdust stove that was being used. When the economy was in an absolute messy place. I mean, are we looking at that sort of situation? Because I don't know too many people that can justify buying the 5 kilogram cylinder of gas for 7,000 naira. And that particular size is very popular among a lot of
Yeah.
Nigerians.
It is, and you are correct. So when times like an LPG is, cooking gas is clean, it's environmentally friendly. So when you now have its price, skyrocketing the way it is, you're gonna have, folks turning to coal, as you've mentioned, they'll be turning to firewood, and that has its own environmental consequences, right? Because we're trying to have a cleaner environment, and LPG has been promoted for its environmental advantages. So that
Mm,
is, of course, a byproduct of what you'll see is that people who just can't afford it will go for less environmentally friendly alternatives to cooking gas.
There just seems to be such a domino effect here, one thing leading to another, which will lead to another along the way. But anyways, earlier on, you mentioned crude oil. Now, how have the geopolitical incidents this weekend impacted crude and prices and so on and so forth?
Yeah, yesterday, well, I think the day before, over the weekend, Israeli intelligence was tipped off that there was going to be a missile strike coming from Hezbollah. They are, of course, I think I think his name is Tukor, Hassan Tukor or something. He was assassinated by the Israelis in July. So this was their retaliation. But essentially, Israeli intelligence found out about it, that there was going to be an attack coming from the southern Lebanon region. So they launched a preemptive strike, a preemptive
Mm,
missile strike to take out those. I mean, Hezbollah still fired their own rockets in there. So that did lead to crude oil prices rising this morning. Both sides have suggest that, I mean, maybe they're sheathed their swords for now, but Hezbollah, which is backed by Iran, who did say that they are like that this is the first phase of their attack. Meanwhile, Israel said they talked to Anthony Blinken, Secretary of State at the US, saying that okay, they shouldn't escalate things further. So maybe for now they've both flexed their muscles, and we might not see another attack, but there is still an attack suggested to come from Iran, because Iran had their own person killed in Tehran. So
mm.
the geopolitical issues are definitely still weighing on oil prices, and it's what we have to take a look at this week.
Interesting stuff. But um, in in a nutshell, what does this say about Israeli intelligence and insecurity as well?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lesson here for us, right? Because we had, 20 medical students in Benue that were kidnapped last week. We've still been battling in as insecurity in the country. Your intelligence forces are supposed to be able to thwart attacks. That's the whole point of having intelligence. They're supposed to be able to act on tips. They're supposed to be able to preempt these type of things. And intelligence takes funding. Mossad, or what they're called, the Israel intelligence unit, well funded, supported by the US. And so Taylor Swift was supposed to have a concert in Vienna a few weeks ago. Intelligence there in Vienna found out there was going to be a terrorist attack, and so they canceled her concert. So that's how intelligence is supposed to work. It's supposed to see things before they happen and keep people safe. So if we want to improve our fight against insecurity, we're going to have an effective intelligence network that is able to see these things before they happen.
Most definitely. Now, as we wrap up the conversation, I'm going to ask you a quick two-in-one here. I know we've talked about this 1,010 times, but what does the rising crude price mean for Nigeria? Just to remind us again, and still talking about crude and oil and all that, what are we set to witness concerning fuel scarcity this week? Because the queues are still out there. Not as bad, but they're still out there.
Yeah, so it's the double whammy, right? Rising crude is supposed to help revenues, but on the other side, there's the issue of what it means for the landing cost of fuel, which is going to increase, which means the subsidy that's being paid or under recovery, as NNPC calls it, that's going to go up as well, which means that the government has to pay that to oil marketers who are trying to distribute the product across the country, which could further escalate to what's going on with fuel scarcity. As you said, it tamed a bit this weekend, but then you look at the weekend, we'll have to see whether, how supply issues play out this new week. It's a Monday. People are going to be going about their business. So it's a double-edged sword for Nigeria when it comes to rising crude oil prices.
All right, let's round up with a message here from Taya. Very good morning to you too, Taya. Taya says, we've had successive poor managers in this country. The federal government will prioritize CNG and forget about LPG like they did with kerosene. It's back to coal and sawdust because it's what's now available. The NLC, that's Nigerian Labour Congress, would only bring the threats of strikes to the table. I hope they're happy with the 70,000 naira national minimum wage. The more you look, the less you see. You need to be intelligent before forming an intelligence authority or a network. Wow, shots fired there by Tyler. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Thank you, Rotus, for joining me this morning on Business Express. Always great having you on the show. Do have a great morning ahead.
All right, Ayo, thank you so much. Thanks for the messages. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Take it easy.
All right. Thank you all for being a part of Business Express. Keep it tuned to the Smooth Breakfast. So much more great music to come as we get along to 7:30 when we get into the headlines in the papers on Freshly Pressed. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us.